I think it was pretty fair. They had a lottery system and numbers were put in a capsule and into a jar and so forth, and it wasn't such a problem of trying to convince people that they should serve the country because we were under attack and they thought it was the honorable thing to do.
The draft system was intended to find able-bodied, usually men, to serve in the military forces. The selection during the Korean War was from the local draft board. And in fact, the invitation that I got from my draft board started out with greetings from the President of the United States. A board composed of your friends and neighbors selected you. And I held that against my friends and neighbors. But the draft at that time during the Korean War also allowed for students who were in school to be deferred until they were out of school, or if they were going to school somewhere else, like in another country. And we ran into the first stages of people getting out of the draft status by either going to school or buying their way out in some other form. And it caused a lot of hard feeling.
Yeah, during the Vietnam War, the draft, I think a lot of people had a misconception of the draft. They figured, well, you're going to get drafted, you're going in the Army, and boom, 6 months later, you're going to go to Vietnam. Well, I've talked to a lot of veterans that were drafted, and they didn't go to Vietnam. Depending on what kind of a job you were selected to do in the Army or the Marines, Coast Guard, Navy, Air Force, didn't make any difference. A draft notice meant you're going to go into the military. Where you served was up to the military, but not necessarily to go to Vietnam. We needed the bodies. We needed people to go there to fight the war. I enlisted in the Marines. That was the only way you could get in at the time. The Marines were not drafting anybody. So I thought the draft was fair.